Simón Bolívar, born on July 24, 1783, in Caracas, Venezuela, into one of the wealthiest aristocratic Creole families of the Spanish-American colonies, was destined to play a revolutionary role in history, yet his early years were marked by profound personal loss. His father died when he was just 2, and his mother when he was 9, leaving him in the care of tutors and relatives who instilled in him Enlightenment ideals and a fierce sense of independence, especially under the influence of his mentor Simón Rodriguez, a philosopher inspired by Rousseau and Voltaire, who shaped young Bolívar's worldview with radical ideas about liberty and human rights. As a teenager, Bolívar traveled to Europe where he witnessed the Napoleonic coronation in Paris in 1804, an event that filled him with a sense of destiny and an urge to replicate similar revolutionary fervor in Latin America. And after marrying Maria Teresa del Toro in Madrid at the age of 19, he tragically lost her to yellow fever less than a year later, deepening his personal grief but hardening his resolve to dedicate himself to a cause greater than his own, liberating his homeland from Spanish colonial rule. Returning to Venezuela, Bolívar initially engaged with reformist movements but soon realized that independence required full commitment to revolution. After a failed first attempt in 1811, which led to the collapse of the First Venezuelan Republic and his temporary exile to Cartagena, he regrouped and penned the famous Cartagena Manifesto, a foundational political document outlining his vision for Latin American unity and republicanism. In 1813, he launched the admirable campaign, earning the title El Libertador after briefly capturing Caracas, but royalist counterattacks and civil strife plunged the region into chaos, resulting in further setbacks that drove him into exile once more in Jamaica, where he wrote the prophetic Letter from Jamaica in 1815, articulating his vision for a grand continental federation of Latin American republics. Determined, Bolívar turned to Haiti, whose revolutionary leader Alexander Pétion offered support in exchange for a promise to abolish slavery, and by 1817, Bolívar had returned to Venezuela, launching a relentless guerrilla campaign from the Orinoco Plains, eventually securing a pivotal victory at the Battle of Boyaca in 1819, which led to the liberation of New Granada, modern-day Colombia, and the formation of Gran Colombia, a vast republic encompassing Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, and later Panama. Crowned as its president and military commander, Bolívar moved southward to continue his campaign, allying with brilliant generals like Antonio José de Sucre, who helped deliver stunning victories such as the Battle of Pichincha in 1822, which freed Quito, and the historic meeting with Argentine liberator José de San Martín in Guayaquil, where Bolívar's bold republicanism clashed with San Martín's monarchist leanings, prompting the latter's quiet withdrawal and leaving Bolívar as the uncontested leader of South American independence. Bolívar's military genius reached its zenith with the Battle of Junín and the decisive Battle of Ayacucho in 1824, which crushed Spanish power in Peru and secured the continent's liberation. Soon after, he presided over the creation of the new Republic of Bolivia in 1825, named in his honor, and although he dreamed of a grand continental unity based on constitutional republicanism, his attempts to centralize power and navigate the deeply fractured politics of the liberated nations exposed the limitations of idealism in the face of local rivalries, class divisions, and personal ambitions. Despite his enormous accomplishments, Bolívar's later years were fraught with betrayal, civil war, and growing disillusionment. His vision for Gran Colombia crumbled as internal dissent and regional separatism grew, especially in Venezuela, where his former allies turned on him, accusing him of becoming a dictator. He survived multiple assassination attempts and coups, including the infamous September Conspiracy of 1828, and though he refused the crown, he accepted near-absolute powers to preserve unity, a choice that paradoxically undermined his democratic principles and eroded public trust. By 1830, Bolívar resigned the presidency, heartbroken and politically isolated, lamenting in his final speech that those who have served the revolution have plowed the sea. His health failing due to tuberculosis and his legacy under attack, Bolívar attempted to leave for exile in Europe but never made it. He died on December 17, 1830, at the age of 47 in Santa Marta, Colombia, in the house of a Spanish sympathizer, not as a triumphant liberator but as a forsaken visionary, bitterly aware that the very people he had freed now viewed him with suspicion or apathy. Yet, over time, Bolívar's myth grew far beyond his mortal limitations. He became the enduring symbol of Latin American independence, his name etched in the flags, cities, and constitutions of half a continent, remembered not merely as a general but as a philosopher of revolution, a warrior of enlightenment, and the founding father of nations who, despite tragedy and betrayal, reshaped the destiny of South America through unmatched determination, vision, and sacrifice.